5 bells. Stand by all stations.
Attention, all districts. A 5-alarm fire. 5 bells move in immediately.
That's it. Let's roll!
Let's go. Firefighters!
Presenting Firefighters, the true-to-life story of our unsung heroes who stand ready to ride by day or night against our most murderous enemy, the demon of fire. In just a minute, we'll join Chief Cody and rookie fireman Tim Collins, who face the problem of warning the town that gas fumes may even now be pouring into buildings and homes. It had all started in the basement of Tim's own home. His young brother and sister had sneaked down to the cellar after their mother was asleep to continue repairing toys which the junior firefighters were collecting for youngsters who were shut-ins. A Bunsen burner they used to heat the glue had gone out. Yet later, Jimmy had been able to relight it. Now, that meant that there had been a temporary stoppage in the flow of gas, that unattended gas appliances in sleeping homes had gone out, that if they had not been turned off or relighted, deadly fumes were now pouring in. Well, we'll check up on the situation right after this announcement. Let's go, firefighters. Let's get down to Chief Cody's office at headquarters shortly after rookie fireman Tim Collins' mother had reported the possibility of disaster discovered by the youngsters, Jimmy and Trudy. Well, the chief's first concern, even as he swung into action, was to make sure this gas stoppage was not local to the Collins home or to that one locality. He gets his answer as Tim bursts into the office. The chief interrupts his telephone conversation with the gas company to ask now.
What did you find, Tim?
The gas went out in the ovens of the bakery down at the corner, Chief. Right here in our own section.
Thanks. Hello, Mr. Smith. Get your emergency crews out all over town. This isn't just the outlying districts. Just got a report on a temporary gas stoppage here, too. Yeah, I've already started the ball rolling. I'm sending out every company I can spare. Yeah, so long.
Well, how in the world can we cover every home that may have gas fumes in it by now, Chief Cody?
All we can do is wake people up, Tim. I'm sending trucks shuttling through their districts with sirens wide open.
I heard you say those you can spare.
Well, I'll have to hold some for possible fire and explosion, son. I'm calling police cars and ambulances out to help us wake the city up.
Well, a certain number of people will say another fire and then turn over and go to sleep again, Chief.
I'm ordering every sound truck the city has. We'll warn them by word of mouth wherever we can.
Well, there's headquarters company rolling out now. You know, I'm thinking it's lucky this is the age of electric lights, sir.
Yeah, but when you think of all the gas appliances in use, heaters, refrigerators, stoves...
Yes, sir, we're bound to be too late in some cases.
It's the outlying districts that worry me. Rooming houses where they use a lot of gas heaters and such like, Tim.
I guess my folks are lucky. Jimmy and Trudy discovering how the gas went out and then came back on.
Well, at least they're safe, son. I hope we can say the same for everybody else when the night is over, with the fire department playing the role of Paul Revere.
But what about the pint-sized Paul Revere, who is, at this minute, galloping down the block near his home, warning his sleeping neighbors to check their gas jets? As the porch lights snap on and sleepy men open the door, it looks like Jimmy Collins is on the job. Reluctantly, but realizing their friends must be warned, Mrs. Collins had let her young son go down the street, insisting that he return after getting the men of the neighborhood to take up from there. And Jimmy intends to obey. But at the last house, where Mr. Ranson lives all alone, there's a light in the kitchen.
Well, what are you doing up this time of night, Jimmy Collins?
Warning everybody on the street they're in danger, Mr. Ranson.
You'll be in danger when your mother finds you're out.
She knows. Gee whiz, will you listen to me? The gas went out a while ago.
Oh, it did it?
Yes, sir. If you got any gas lamps
well, now, I knew you kids in the neighborhood think I'm old-fashioned, but, I'll tell you what. Step inside, son.
Oh, okay. I can see you got electric lights, Mr. Ranson, but maybe you got a gas refrigerator?
Nope, electric. Here, take a look. Yeah, it's humdinger, ain't it?
Well, gosh, you got other things that use gas, haven't you?
It seems to me the salesman said my radio ran on electricity, too, son. Shall we go in the living room and see if it's leaking any electricity around the place?
This isn't any kidding matter, Mr. Ranson. There, look, that's a gas stove here in the kitchen, isn't it?
Yep, that's what I wanted you to see, Jimmy. I'm heating myself a bowl of soup on an imaginary gas flame.
Well, gee whiz, I can see it's lighted.
If the gas went out, how come it's lighted, son?
Look, let me explain. About midnight, my sister and I were in our cellar. I was putting a head back on this horse. See, I needed some glue to stick it back
Does
on.
your mother know you keep a headless horse in your cellar?
It was a rocking horse. You think I'm crazy or something?
Maybe it's just a touch of fever. Here, I'll take you home.
Look, the junior firefighters have been collecting old toys and fixing them up to give to other kids. The gas went out in my Bunsen burner. Later, it came back on.
And how'd you know that?
Because I lit it again.
Well, then...
Don't you see anybody who had gas burning in their house, Mr. Ranson? It went off. If they were sleeping, they wouldn't know that.
There's no argument there.
So if they didn't know, they wouldn't have turned the gas off. And if the flame went out and they didn't light it again...
I see. There'd be nothing but fumes pouring out now.
Oh, at last, you got it.
I got mostly electricity here. Even got a hot plate in my study so I can fix myself coffee without coming downstairs.
Listen, I bet Chief Cody's got the whole department out.
Perhaps there's a fire in the neighborhood.
Gosh, I hope not. I figured I was getting everybody out to warn everybody else. Hey, what's that?
Attention! Attention, everybody!
Sounds like one of those sound trucks they use at election time to me.
Sure, that's what it is.
Homeowners!
And that's my brother Tim's voice.
Check your gas appliances. Be careful of escaping fumes. If you smell gas, don't light matches. Be careful of sparks. Open all windows and doors immediately.
Well, the chief must have assigned my brother to his own neighborhood. He's got him out with a sound
Warning.
truck.
Temporary gas stoppage. Check your appliances. Heaters, stoves, everything. Make sure they were not left on. Check for fumes.
Now I guess you'll
Carefully.
believe me. Say, what's the matter?
I should have listened to you, Jimmy. Gas logs in my fireplace in my study upstairs.
Gas logs?
Yes, imitation fireplace. It's actually a gas burner, son. It was on when I came down here to fix my soup. Let's get up there fast.
No, it's been left too long now, Mr. Ranson. In a case like this, you turn off the gas from the meter in the cellar.
You think we'd be overcome by the fumes if we went up?
That's right, but don't worry. As long as there's nothing up there to make it explode like a pilot light here in the kitchen would do.
Oh, land of Goshen. That reminds me.
Well, show me where your gas meter is, Mr. Ranson.
Son, I just remembered. I turned on that electric plate up in my study, started to heat myself some coffee. Then I decided to have a bowl of soup, too.
Oh, never mind the long story, sir. Let's go.
Where? What do you do in a case like this?
You scram just as fast as you can. Let's get out of here while we can before there's enough fumes in that room to...
Oh, you were going to say explosion, son?
Yes, sir. And if we weren't standing out here in the yard right now, I guess I wouldn't be saying anything.
The sound of the explosion quickly brings the fire equipment that is already cruising the district. A few minutes later, Chief Cody stands beside his car saying,
All right, you men. Don't wait for Collins. Get that truck back on the job again. Engine and ladder trucks pick up where they left off. Move into the district north of here. And if I find anyone slept through the racket I expect you to make, there'll be another explosion in my office tomorrow. Keep your eyes open for mobile radio units. They'll report any further emergencies. Get rolling.
Hey, Chief Cody. Where's my brother?
Well, I thought I told you to get along home, Jimmy.
I told my mother I was okay, but she was worried about Tim.
Yeah, it's a lucky thing Tim's sound truck was still in the neighborhood, Jimmy. He's coming out of the house now.
My mother's waiting over there on the edge of the crowd of people. Oh, she sees him now.
Everything under control, Tim?
Yes, sir. Emergency crew from the gas company took care of the shutoff. No danger of fire, sir.
Good. This is the first battle we've lost so far.
Well, if Mr. Ranson had listened to Jimmy, my guess is he might still have a wall on the side of his house, Chief.
True. Thanks for your help, Jimmy. Now run along.
But I got something else to tell you.
We've got other things on our mind, kid. Tell Mother that...
You know what happened when old man Ranson didn't listen to me?
Well, he's got a point, Tim. What is it, Jimmy?
That little girl, the one on crutches, the one we took the doll's house to this afternoon.
Alice, her name was. What about her?
The chief said her father worked at night, didn't he?
Well, he's a night watchman, Jimmy. They usually do.
She's all alone in that little tumble-down house, sir. Maybe she wouldn't understand what the danger is.
Say, that's one of the outlying districts we didn't get the sound truck to as yet, Chief.
Exactly what is it that worries you, Jimmy?
They don't have a furnace there. Trudy and I noticed how chilly it was this afternoon.
Did you happen to notice, well, say, a gas heater?
Gee whiz, of course. That's what I'm saying.
Well, it probably wouldn't be on now, Jimmy.
She said her father would light it when he came in, Tim. What if he leaves it on low to keep the place kind of warm when he goes to work?
Yeah, he might at that.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, I don't think we can overlook Jimmy's warning, Tim. We'd better get up there just as fast as we can. Let's roll.
Is Jimmy's hunch right? And if so, is there still time to help the little friend Trudy and Jimmy Collins made that afternoon? Well, now, to see what happened and to see how Jimmy himself managed to go along on the rescue trip, you be sure to listen to the next exciting episode of the Firefighters. And now, in just a moment, Chief Cody will tell all of you boys and girls exactly how you can help the firefighters right in your own hometown. But right now, let's listen to this message. And now, Chief Bob Cody with a special message for the Firefighters Brigade. Chief Cody.
Hello, boys and girls. I suppose you thought Mr. Ranson's joke about electricity leaking into the room was as crazy as Jimmy thought it was. But there's just enough sense behind it to give it a little thought. Electric appliances have to be treated with respect the same as gas appliances. If you overload a line, it's possible to throw a lot of sparks around inside some wall where you wouldn't notice it. And that's why it's so important to have the proper fuses in your fuse box. They're the safety valves, and when one of them blows out, it's a warning. 15 amperes is right for the average house. Talk that figure over with your dad and make sure a heavier fuse has not been substituted. Right? Until next time, this is Chief Cody saying, so long.
Fire Chief Cody and the young rookie fireman Tim Collins will be back on the same station the next time you hear...
That's it. Let's roll! Let's go! Firefighters!
Firefighters is a copyrighted feature of William F. Holland Productions.